How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battle. Today we're about versus Black Mamba from the Discord server in the OU tier. I'm using a new team. This was created by Kafkafoon. It's a guy from our Discord server, so go ahead and join the Discord server. It's the best place to go for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Wi-Fi battles right now. There is a link in the description down below. But basically I'm doing this thing where people in the Discord server can give me teams to use, and I'll use them. And this is a pretty cool Tailwind team that was concocted by, well, Kafkafoon, like I said. So anyway, looking at their team, they got Vikavolt, an Ogerpon Wellspring, Low Kicks, Politoed, Goodra, and a Chinchino. So like a pseudo rain team kind of thing, which is interesting. So we probably assume they're going to lead with either the Low Kicks, or the Vikavolt for the Sticky Webs, or the Politoed. So I should probably just lead with Tornadus, maybe? I don't know, actually. I don't really have a good electric switching on this team, do I? I guess the Pokemon that handles all of them pretty well is Scizor, so I guess I'll just go into the Scizor as the first lead, and then we can just U-turn on whatever they go for. That seems like a good idea, so let's just do that. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Mamba. So they're going to lead off with Drip Drop, the Politoed. Nice and shiny, gotta love it. As we obviously set off with Scizor, so this is not the best matchup in the world, not the worst matchup either. We should be outspeeding here. I could go straight... Oh, I'd have U-turn on this one. That's interesting. So we'd have U-turn... I read the team earlier and I didn't remember that for some reason. So anyway, with Politoed on the field, we can probably assume it's going to go for either a Water-type move or something like a Perish Song or something along those lines. So I think what I'm going to do is I might lead off with going to Crawdaunt here. I think Crawdaunt's a pretty good Pokemon because we can set up on this Politoed potentially, or we can hit it really hard with a knockoff. And we can hit anything on our team really hard with a knockoff, to be honest with you. Crawdaunt looks like it goes hard here. If we can get that Ogerpon out of the way, and weaken the Vikavolt maybe, because Vikavolt's kind of bulky, then Crawdaunt can go really hard here. And obviously first impression from the low kicks is going to be terrifying. So they go for a Chilling Water, which is going to lower our Crawdaunt's attack stat, which is very interesting. So we could go for a Swords Dance to mitigate that, but... I'm going to go for a knockoff, just to get rid of the damp rock that this thing probably has. Also because I'm trying to stall out rain here. I don't want this rain up all the time. So they withdraw the Politoed, which is interesting. What are they going to go into to take a knockoff? Fiona, which is going to be what? The Ogerpon. I guess Ogerpon doesn't really care about knockoff too much. Still does half though, which is really good damage considering we got a lowered attack. That's adaptability for you. Very, very powerful ability that is. So, what can we do here? Ogerpon is in. It's probably going to go for a Horn Leech or a U-turn. I think the best thing for me to do is to go in Kingambit. That's probably the best thing because Kingambit is really bulky. It's also not weak to U-turn like Roaring Moon, because Roaring Moon was another option for Horn Leech. Alright, there we go. Withdrawing Crawdaunt real quick. And then we're going to go into Kingambit real quick, which is always nice. Nice and shiny as well. Gotta love it. They do go for a U-turn, which is fine. That's going to bounce right off Kingambit because we are pretty bulky. And they probably, if I had to guess, I'd say they go into Low Kicks here because Low Kicks first impression is going to sting for a start, but also they get Jump Kick, which could be very powerful against us. In comes Nimbo, which is going to be probably, yeah, I was going to say the Low Kicks based on the nickname. Nice and shiny as well. This thing's going to Jump Kick us in the face, so I guess I could switch out in something like the Tornadus, take advantage of the rain a bit with the Bleak Wind Storm. But I probably shouldn't because with Tinted Lens it's going to sting quite a bit. So really I should probably Terra. Oh no, wait, with Terra Dark. The other team that's Terra Flying. Tornadus it is then. Tornadus it is because we're very likely going to see a Jump Kick here or a First Impression or something. So I guess we got to go for it. I don't want Kingambit to go down just yet because it single-handedly bodies their entire team after a Supreme Overlord. They do go for a U-turn, which is going to sting. Yep, stung quite a bit, that did. And now we go for a eject button. And we get a free switch in with something else, which is great. So we can handle this no problem. So what I'm going to do is, looking at their team, I would say the best thing for me to go into is Scizor. So I'm going to go into Scizor real quick. They don't switch out from the U-turn after activating the eject button as well. So it's got to be the Low Kicks that comes in now. There we go. So we can just go for a CC right now. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. There's no real reason not to. It hits everything on the team really hard. There we go. They go for a U-turn. Does a nice bit of damage to Scizor. This Low Kicks is doing a lot of damage to us in general. But they are going to withdraw. What are they going to go into to take close combat? That's the real question. I'd say Goodra was probably the best option, or Politoed, depending on the set. In comes Drip Drop the Politoed once again. So Politoed coming in is pretty interesting. So And we go for a CC. Let's see how much damage it does to the Politoed. Nearly half. I can take that. I take that. That's good damage, that is. That's pretty good damage. So we are Life Orb, so we're going to lose some health here. But I'm pretty sure if we just go for another CC here and we can get rid of this Politoed, we can shut down their rain team quite a bit. So let's go for the close combat again. I could have Tera to get the KO, but I don't want to waste my Tera just yet. So we go for another CC to get the damage off on the Politoed. Oh, it actually finishes it off as well. Was it a crit? Or was it just high roll? No, it was just a high roll. So we probably got a low roll the first time and then a high roll the second time. That's awesome. So Sizzle getting the KO there is really important because the rain is literally about to wear off any turn now. So that's always nice. In comes Silver Spark, which is going to be probably the Vikavolt. Yep, the Vikavolt comes in. It's nice and shiny. Gotta love it. I like shiny Vikavolt. It's very nice. I don't have one, but I do like it. So I don't have a very good switch into electricity, especially Thunder. They might go for a Bug Buzz, expecting the either the Mew or the Roaring Moon to come in. We do outspeed, so I could go for a Dual Wing Beat just to get some damage off. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Dual Wing Beat just to get some damage off. We outspeed Vikavolt because Vikavolt's pretty slow. And there we go. Dual Wing Beat does a lot of damage as well, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. We do lose our health for the Life Orb, and we're probably going to get finished off by a Zap Cannon. Oh dear. That's not 100% accurate in the rain, that isn't. I think they might have got... Oh, their blunder policy. Their blunder policy. Okay, that's pretty cool. Blunder policy Vikavolt, that's awesome. With Zap Cannon, that's cool because it pays off, because if you hit the Zap Cannon, you get the paralysis anyway. That's really cool, that is. Bullet Punch comes through. And down goes the Vikavolt, though. So unfortunately, the blunder policy doesn't mean anything when you have Bullet Punch priorities. Sizzler just shut that down completely. Sizzler is the GOAT in this game. I tell you what, it's doing really well. In comes Nimbo, the low kicks once again. Nice and shiny. And this thing's at full HP, so we definitely go down to a first impression here. And I'm happy with that. Sizzle did good. Let's go for a Bullet Punch just in case they don't go for a first impression and they expect us to switch or something. That's always a possibility. They go for the first impression though. That's going to take out Sizzle. But Sizzle did really good this game. It applied a lot of pressure to the team. It took out 2 Pokemon for crying out loud. Definitely did well. But this low kick has become a threat now. So it's gone for a first impression, which means we now outspeed it with pretty much everything on the team. I'm looking at this matchup. I'm thinking Roaring Moon. If I get a Dragon Dance up, that'd be a Tailwind off. That'd be amazing. But its question is what to get the Tailwind off with. I'm leaning towards the Tornadus. I am going to go the Tornadus. So, VGC reference. The Tornadus is going to come in. And we're going to go for a Tailwind real quick. We do have the Prankster ability, so we do get priority on the Tailwind. Which is always nice. They do withdraw because they don't want to get hit by that Flying type move that we could go for. And they're going to go into Gumdrops the Furious, which is the Goodra. Interesting. So Goodra comes in. We go for a Tailwind. This Tornadus could do with U-turn, to be honest with you, for the Tailwind support. You could, we could go for a U-turn and get out of there. But Taunt is also useful, so it is what it is. So, what do we do here? I'm leaning towards sacking off Crawdaunt. That's what I'm leaning towards. So I think I will do that, because Crawdaunt's not really doing much for us anyway. Water Absorb's there on the Ogerpon, so we could always switch into our Aqua Jets. Stuff like that, and the low kicks first impression's a priority move anyway. So we'll withdraw Tornadus and we will sack off our Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt doesn't really take too much advantage of the Tailwind either because it's still really slow, even with Tailwind up. They go for a Draco though, and now all we need to do is bring in the Roaring Moon. I'm pretty sure Roaring Moon can finish this game off. I'm pretty sure. First impression from low kicks will sting. But I'm still pretty sure we're alright. So we'll go into the Rebellion. Like so. There we go. We'll get a booster energy and attack. I'm pretty sure it's attack. Yep, attack. I was right. And then we'll just kind of Terra flying just to be, not neutral to the Draco Meteor that could be coming. And go for a knockoff. And knockoff, the reason I'm going for knockoff is because it's got more base power than Acrobatics does after an item's been lost. There we go, we're going to Terastalize our Roaring Moon into a Flying type. And we may not win with the Roaring Moon because first impression is going to sting from our low kicks. Despite us being resistant. Because Tinted Lens is a thing. If you don't know what Tinted Lens does, it basically makes not very effective moves have increased power. So we go for a knockoff. Should do a lot of damage. Nearly KOs the Goodra. No Gooey, that's good. And they go for a Scold. No! And they get the burn! No way they got the burn. That is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. I didn't even know Goodra got Scold. Shows how much I know about the lower tier mons, eh? And I pride myself in using lower tier mons in OU. And I didn't even know Goodra got Scold. Anyway, let's go for an acrobatics real quick. Boom. Down it goes. Absolutely love it. Goodra goes down. So we're doing pretty well so far with this team. Again, shout out to Kafkafoon from the Discord server for making the team. Absolutely amazing work. Fiona's going to come in. Is that the Ogerpon? It is the Ogerpon. So we should outspeed here, right? I might get my speed tiers mixed up. I'm pretty sure you're 110 and I'm pretty sure Roaring Moon's like 113 or something like that. I don't know. Let's go for an acrobatics and find out. They go for an Ivy Cudgel. They do outspeed. Can we live? We do live, which is great. Roaring Moon's not that frail. He's not super frail, you know? So we go for an acrobatics, take out the Ogerpon, which is absolutely fantastic. But this does mean the low kicks can come in and finishes off with any move it wants to go for. First impression is probably the preferable move for it to go for here. They don't even need to, really. They could just go into Chinchino and tank a hit. They could definitely tank a hit with the Chinchino after our burn, but it is what it is. Floof Girl comes in, the Chinchino. So Chinchino actually, I think, outspeeds Roaring Moon if Ogerpon outspeeds Roaring Moon. So that's a thing. So let's go for a knockoff just to stop them from going for Tidy Up. They go for a Bullet Seed, though. They don't go for the Tidy Up. And even after the, you know, he's probably got a loaded dice or something like that. Because I know it gets Skilling, but it also gets Technician. So if you do loaded dice with Technician, it hits really hard. That's what a lot of people seem to do. But anyway, Chinchino is in. Do we have anything that outspeeds it? Not without a Tailwind. Do I want to do this? I kind of want the Mew to do something here. So I'm leaning towards going into you, Tailwinding. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think we go Tornadus. I think we go Tornadus just to get the Tailwind up. I think that's going to be important. So I'm going to go for the Tailwind. I'm hoping they go for a Rock Blast or a Triple Axle to take us out after we've gone for the Tailwind, because then we get the optimal amount of terms for it. We go for the Tailwind. Hopefully they don't go for a Tidy Up here, because that would be frustrating. They do go for a Rock Blast, though. That's definitely going to KO us, as Rock Blast hits once, twice, and that's all it needed. So we've got the Tailwind up, so everything on our team now outspeeds the Chinchino, except for maybe the Kingambit, because it's not that fast anyway, even after a Tailwind. But that's fine. We don't need that. We need the Mew. We're going to go for a Misty Explosion. That's what we're going to do. Misty Explosion should come close to KOing to the point where we can just bring in Kingambit. I'm hoping. So, with that in mind, let's go for the Misty Explosion just to get the KO. And also because if they attack us first now, despite the Tailwind, if they attacked us first, they'd get red carded out into the low kicks, who's weak to Misty Explosion. Misty Explosion comes through, though. And hopefully this does enough damage to get the KO on the Chinchino. Wow, that did nothing. Nothing of the sort. That did absolutely 0 damage. Ouch. That did nothing to the... Wow. Okay, anyway, Kingambit, you come in here. Hopefully the Tailwind lasts. I may have just wasted a turn of it by going for that with the Mew. Get the Supreme Overlord, though, which is always nice. And then we go for a Kowtow Cleave because they may... No, an Iron Head. Because they may switch out here expecting a Sucker Punch. Iron Head comes through, though. We still outspeed. Down goes the Chinchino. And hopefully, I think we've got one more turn of Tailwind. So we should be all right here. I hope. In comes Nimbo, the low kicks. Let's find out if... I can't remember how many turns Tailwind is. I think it's 3 or 4. No, we've got another turn of it. So let's go for the Iron Head real quick. And hopefully we get the KO. They're probably going to go for a first impression here and hope for it. They're going to Terastalize as well. Probably into a Bug Time to get the maximum amount of power off on this thing. And if it's Choice Banded, there's a good chance we'll either live... The Terra Fire! No! They Terra Fired! We should have Kowtow Cleaved. How was I meant to predict Terra Fire, though? We go for an Iron Head. Still does a lot of damage. Oh, we flinched them! We flinched and the Tailwind petters out. We flinched them. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Sucker Punch comes through from them, which does a lot of damage. And then Sucker Punch fails for us. So they're probably expecting us to go for a Kowtow Cleave now. But I'm not. I'm going to go for another Sucker Punch. I'm going to go for another Sucker Punch because I feel like that's the way to go. Sucker Punch comes through. Yeah, we won the Sucker Punch mind games. There we go. Down goes low kicks, and that is the game. So it's a pretty close game. Pretty fun one as well. I enjoyed using this team. Again, if you want to join the Discord server and suggest teams to me, then by all means go and do that. I'll use them in the live streams as well, because the live streams have been popping off recently. You gotta love it. But yeah, GG Mamba. But anyway, here is the team. Try it out if you want to. Use the code at the top right corner of the screen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, of course, leave a like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And with that being said, I'll see you all in a bit.